Hello and welcome to Please Don't Send Me Into Outer Space, the podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer, one movie at a time. My name is Joel.
My name is Sarah.
And my name is Aaron.
Mike, the country wants to hear from you. The world is waiting.
Can't you shut up? I'm busy.
You're a rotten, mean father. You never give me anything I want. And I won't go to school till I have it.
Violet. Cool it, Mother.
Open it, Charlie. Let's see that golden ticket.
Before we get started on this movie that I'm trying to stick a trailer in front of. Let's see what's going on here.
Okay.
I'd like to send out a special thank you so much to Scott Patz, one of our listeners, who donated to us via Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott, from all three of us, but definitely my mom is very thankful for your help as well. Thanks, man.
It's people like that I respect. Every other listener can go to hell. No, I shouldn't say that.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm not saying you can buy my love, but it is for sale.
I think that might be a Talking Heads song, maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't know about these Talking Heads.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, the movie this week is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from 1971, directed by Mel Stewart, written by Roald Dahl, based on his book, starring Gene Wilder, Jack Albertson, Peter Ostrom, all the people. I mean, who stars in this movie? Gene Wilder, that's right.
I mean, he is the star, yeah.
And Freebie or the Bean, I don't know which one that Jack Albertson is. He's one of those two guys. So, you guys love this movie. Everybody loves this movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know somebody who doesn't like this movie?
Maybe. But I haven't had it as a talking point with people.
I don't know if I've ever had any sort of movie criticism on the first Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film.
The original?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's not Charlie and the Chocolate. That's a different movie. This is
sorry,
Willy
Wonka
and the Chocolate Factory. Yes.
Pardon me.
Based on the book Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes, based on the book Charlie. No, that's the movie where the guy gets intelligence, but then it goes away, and it's really sad. Flowers for Algernon.
Oh.
Anyways, I know one person that didn't like this movie. There's a story my mother told me. My aunt was very much into Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Great Glass Elevator.
Oh,
she'd read the books over and over again. Was so excited when the movie came out. They went to go see it in the theater, and by the time they left, my aunt was in tears.
Oh,
because she thought it was so different than the book, in her opinion.
Oh man.
And
wow,
you've read the book?
Yeah, read both.
And
well, at least the. I mean, you're gonna have to forgive me. I think it was like in the third grade that I read the book.
You should remember. Wait, you were reading books in the third? No,
yeah.
I don't know. Was I reading books in the third grade?
Yeah, man, I read War of the Worlds in the third grade, dude.
Whoa, King Dork.
Anyways, I mean, from what I can recall. I mean, yeah, there's differences. But, I mean, I felt the spirit of the book is represented in the film.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't have any place to go after this.
I think he also wrote the screenplay, maybe with some help, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's the only credited writer, at least that's what I saw on in the Internet Movie Database.
Oh. Yeah. I had not heard that some people reacted that way, but it's probably the same as like Harry Potter or whatever.
Jurassic
like,
Park. There's,
people, if you've had an affection for the book, and
Game of Thrones.
Oh.
maybe it wasn't as much like in our time that people were attached to that story, because when we were kids, we saw the movie. It had already been out for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a treasured classic already by the time. This is my brother Andy's favorite movie.
It is?
I think it is
cool.
still to this day his favorite movie. I haven't asked him, but that was for the longest time what he said.
It's
and-
a good movie,
Yes?
but it's also a little confusing.
It's a little freaky.
Yeah.
I feel like a good children's, like a classic children's movie needs to be a little freaky, though. It can't be like totally safe.
Yeah, it's like a Brothers Grimm tale isn't safe,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yes.
but also has some type of crazy moral structure to it as well.
Right. Morality. A man who owns a chocolate factory is telling us how we need to live our lives.
That's right. An industrious person.
I say we push back.
Oh.
I'm tired of businessmen telling me what's right and wrong. We're going to take back this country from all the chocolate factories.
I mean,
Anyone?
well, I like chocolate though, Joel.
Well, I'm not saying you can't enjoy chocolate. You just have to, I don't know,
He's not going to sell any to me anymore.
install
Yeah,
your
we find
own waterfall and churn it yourself.
Oh, what you're saying is use the Willy Wonka film as a blueprint for my own factory.
Yeah, I mean, it's all there.
Huh.
All you gotta do is kidnap a whole bunch of little people.
All right.
Sarah, what do you like about this movie?
I like that it is very different from a lot of other movies. I think it's a unique story. I think Gene Wilder is like incredible in it. It's definitely an odd character, but I think that because Gene Wilder does it the way he does, he still comes off likable, even though some pretty crazy things happen. Yeah, I think I experienced watching it this time a little differently than I have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about it the other day when I was trying to decide what movie we should watch, because it was my pick this time, and I was between this and a very different movie. But
A different sort of candy factory in that other movie.
this one, I was just thinking about some of the crazy things that happen in it, and
Yeah.
I was thinking about how over the top it is that he had 4 bedridden grandparents. I'm like, seriously, when I was a kid, I never was like, why does he have 4 bedridden grandparents in the same bed and just him and his mom in the house? Like, that's it? Like, I never put it together that would be, like, outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like that Dickensian, like, oh, these are the real poor people kind of thing that Roald Dahl did, because, like, even James the Giant Peach, they get the tragedy of his parents dying and going to live at that house with his terrible aunts. Like, he's poor, and then, what was I thinking? There was something else I was thinking. I think that's, like, this kind of, like, quaint British version of what I don't know, like somebody who would read it and imagine that, like, a child would be able to access, like, oh yes, if I was terribly poor, like, of course, all my grandparents would be living in one bed, and I don't even know. I don't know where I'm going.
I was not at all familiar with, like, Oliver Twist or anything like that as a kid, and I mean, this probably seemed like more gloomy to me than a lot of situations, the way Charlie starts off in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when I first saw it, but I was probably pretty little. I remember my stepdad really liking it, and I think maybe he introduced me to it because he really liked Gene Wilder too. But,
Did he make you watch other Gene Wilder movies?
yeah. I mean, I've seen, like, Young Frankenstein is one of his favorites, and,
Hear No Evil, See No Evil?
I think he likes Mel Brooks comedies, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, yeah. I think that this movie was just over the top, and, yeah, I liked it a lot. What was I talking about before? Sorry.
You were saying that you hadn't really seen kids or in that situation. Like, there were things you were noticing about this that were like...
Oh, right. That, like...
Well, I want to
also...
say... Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Aaron, didn't you, like, live in this entire situation? Didn't, like, your grandparents all live in one bed?
Yeah. This is a pretty close telling of my childhood.
I mean, I saw you tearing up, and I was like, boy, this movie's really getting to him. And then you explained. Like, yeah, you had to, you know, a chunk of bread was a feast for you and your parents growing
absolutely.
up. Because they were spending all their money on science fiction conventions or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, misappropriate allocation of funds for sure.
Like, when a
yeah.
loaf of bread looks like a feast, I shouldn't be spending my money on these sci-fi novels.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, did you need another pair of Vulcan ears? Like, is that a...
She looked at you and said, "Do you want me to be embarrassed, Aaron?" Because that's what I'm going to be.
No, that's when she just started saying, "Cheer up, Charlie."
No.
Have we done a musical on this before?
I mean, we did, like, some cartoon stuff, you know, like All Dogs Go to Heaven and Fern Gully and things like that. I don't know if we've done we did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
That's right.
That was our first musical.
Yeah.
Back during our Kickstarter days.
And we did Repo Man. That's a musical, right?
Actually, I was going to say there is a very interesting pattern in some of your movie choices, Sarah.
Really?
Ooh.
What's that?
Very heavily music inspired.
Oh, yeah.
What's the Wrist Cutters?
Yep.
Very heavily music inspired. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't exist without the musical numbers. Music is a very important factor in your cinematography.
I think
choice.
it can be, yeah. I think it really can be.
RoboCop.
Oh, all about that music.
I didn't choose RoboCop.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of other ones
That
I've
was a
chosen.
guess pick, Joel.
Yeah, I do like
It's okay, Joel.
music in movies.
Mm-hmm. I don't like all the music in the movie. Like you were talking Cheer Up Charlie. I don't like that song.
I think my mom actually sang that at me once, ironically.
Oh, cheer up, Aaron. Shut your big mouth.
Pretty much. Dark humor of the Corneliuses.
Mm.
It's kind of like that Feed the Birds song in Mary
Oh, yeah,
Poppins.
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I want to feed the birds.
he's the Julie Andrews of this movie.
Gene Hackman? Well, not Gene Hackman, Gene Wilder.
Sorry, Gene Wilder.
Gene
R.I.P.
Hackman
I
was in
love
this.
you. No, I mean, I think that there's this larger-than-life figure that can perform magic, and, like,
Yeah.
I think Mary Poppins is one of those figures that you could compare it to, that
Mhm.
can help, like, make children, like... And in this... Oh, go ahead.
I haven't seen the new Mary Poppins movie yet.
Neither have I.
Not interested.
Oh.
Unless, well, do you think she's doing that yoga stuff that she does in Live, Die, Repeat,
There wasn't
and
any...
Edge of Tomorrow?
Oh. Oh!
You think she was planking on set? Come along, children. Let me show you.
Okay.
Off the rails.
What?
Off the rails. That was good, Joel.
Oh.
What's that guy's name that did Hamilton?
The
Emmanuel.
Lin-Manuel, yes,
Yeah.
Miranda.
Yeah, he's like a chimney sweep guy in this one.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm okay. You guys enjoy your new Mary Poppins movies.
I haven't seen it yet, but I was interested.
So somebody at Disney got like a note that said, "What if this movie but grown up?" And they're like, "Mary Poppins Returns." Christopher Robin. I don't know what else they're gonna do. Some other live Pete's Dragon, but he's a grown up.
What about that Lion King trailer? You seen that yet?
The not actually live action Lion King. Yeah, it looks great to me.
Yeah.
You know, just think about it in 10 years from now.
Did you guys have the Lion King soundtrack?
Yes.
No, I had the Sega Genesis game.
Oh, that's as good. Yeah.
I didn't have the soundtrack though.
Yeah, we definitely had the soundtrack.
Yeah, I listened to that soundtrack a lot.
We listened to Aladdin a lot, but we definitely listened to Lion King.
Oh, I played Aladdin a lot on the Sega Genesis too.
Yeah, see, all those good ones. No Willy Wonka video game though. At least not one anyone wants to play.
Inevitably would have been scary.
Yeah.
You like NES platformer trying to jump around.
Myst, I think.
Oh,
like a Myst type
that's.
of game.
I mean, if you were going to make one now, that'd be good. Like you get to the abandoned factory.
Yeah, and you're just like clicking.
Years later. Oh, this is the adult update on this.
Well, if it's the abandoned factory, then it has to be the next. Gosh, what's that haunted house? Yeah, or the most recent one that all the kids are all afraid of with the animatronic guys.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, but Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Right. Fortnite. No.
Oh yeah.
How did that become a thing?
Scary like games for kids, or that kids can play.
I think it was YouTubers, right?
I mean, it was that's the thing. Like YouTubers is specifically aimed it to for family friendly ish type things. Like so, because I don't think the intention of the people that made Five Nights at Freddy's was like, I'm making a kiddie game, because it is. It's kind of freaky.
It's creepy, yeah.
And they're Bendy and the Infernal Machine or whatever it's called. Anyways, Willy Wonka. That's also a horror story anyways.
Yeah. My gosh.
I have to say, the things I like about the movie now as an adult, like as a kid, I used to like fantasize about like, oh, it'd be amazing to be able to go to the factory and have fun, all this stuff like that, and hopefully not die. I don't even think that occurred to me that like I might die, because I was a good kid. But now as an adult, I love all the like goofy vignettes leading up to when they get into the factory. I could just deal with a whole movie that's just.
I really like the vignettes as well. Each introduction of the kid, getting the ticket.
The anecdotes, with like somebody being like, "I want a computer to tell me where the candy is," or whatever.
Ma'am, your husband's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
I want your last box of
Wonka bars.
How long will it give me to think about it? Yeah.
People were crazy for Wonka chocolate.
Without Gene Wilder in this movie, I can't imagine it being as good, as entertaining, working at all, possibly, because, like, I mean, most of the kid actors are actually pretty entertaining, with their like irritating ways and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, Augustus can be played by whoever, although it was really funny. Hurry up, I'm starving.
Yeah, hurry up, I'm starving.
But Charlie Bucket, I mean, you could put a face on a bucket and parade that around instead of him, like that kid actor.
I liked his style. His hobo style was pretty cool. The big pants, the Converse.
The clothes in this movie, the clothes, yeah.
Tell me about the clothes.
Okay, well, this is some firmly 70s stuff. We've got Peter Pan collars, large lapels.
Oh, yeah.
We've got polyester pants, velvets. There's, what else? We've got just his purple velvet coat, man.
Yeah.
Just his purple velvet coat. You want to talk about something that's like quintessential?
Yeah.
Like that's like an icon visually now of like what it was. And I don't know if this is supposed to, but it reminded me of Cadbury's chocolate, because Cadbury always had the purple symbol I don't know if they were talking about Cadbury's when they made this story, if he was, insinuating he was talking about Cadbury instead of Willy Wonka or whatever, but I wondered that because of the purple.
I mean, I would like to see when that purple even came into play into Cadbury's existence, because I'm sure they were around in the 70s, but were they purple like that? I wouldn't be surprised if that was a marketing idea. Purple gives them this candy idea, like Willy Wonka. Because when I see the outside of that metallic purple wrapper of a Cadbury item, I think that's a rich chocolate in there, which is funny. Even if it was blank, if it was just a shiny purple for some reason.
It's that royal color, man.
Yeah, I think
guess.
it is royal purple.
Yeah.
Like a Crown Royal.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. Yeah, you don't want that creamy whiskey.
It's majestic.
I think purple is a royal color.
We've been told so.
Like a Joker.
Yeah, the Joker, he's very royal.
Love that
Willy
Joker.
Wonka's kind of a joker.
He is.
Yeah.
Kind of a trickster.
Yeah.
Is Willy Wonka a good guy?
I mean, he did kill all those children.
This has definitely been a debate for a little while.
When I think about, it's funny, when I think back about this movie, my memory is, it's fun, and it's funny. And that's partly because of the sense of humor that's delivered and the, levity with, the musical numbers and stuff. But it's also, it doesn't leave you with the impression, everybody is, in danger and doesn't end up having a good time. You get the impression, some of the kids that were being bad don't have that great of a time. But Charlie ends up winning, and you feel, I don't know, my memory of it wasn't, you come away from it with a positive feeling somehow, even though it's kind of a cautionary, moral thing.
I think the difference between Willy Wonka in the book and Willy Wonka in the movie is based on my third grade retelling of it, of course. I feel that the way that Gene Wilder represents him as more of a tempting sort of devilish kind of character, as opposed to in the book where I feel like he's more of your tour guide to the factory. The way that he proposes things, the way that he, I feel like he's dry. And obviously it's revealed later that it was part of his plan. But I think that the way that Gene Wilder portrays it is much more devilish and more impish than maybe how it's portrayed in the book.
That's interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I mean, he certainly is the devil, though.
Oh yeah.
There's but he's always presenting. I feel like the only one who gets kind of a cheap death in this movie is Augustus, because yes, he's drinking out of the chocolate river, but that's not Willy Wonka didn't specify that. Oh, by the way, the river's off limits. You can eat whatever you want over there.
That's true.
It's like the garden of. That's the tree of knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, he gives a pretty good warning to everyone except poor Augustus there.
Yeah, I mean, the closest he gets to a warning is him running no, don't do that, no. That's the only one he seemed legitimately concerned with. Is maybe after that happened, he was you know what, this whole thing's going. It's just not going to work out. You know what? Whatever the kids do from now on, I'm just going to not be surprised.
I feel like that's the biggest scene, too, in the whole movie, is the World of Pure Imagination song and that room that you can imagine, all these edible things. And now that I'm older...
Edibles? No, wait, yeah?
I imagine, when I was younger, I probably thought they were different things, but now that I'm older, I look at them and I think, oh, that one would be a hard candy, or that one would be, it would be a licorice or something. But when I was younger, I just imagined them all tasting however I wanted.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And they're the things that you want when you're eating them too. Not if you were a kid who didn't like licorice, didn't occur to you like, oh, gross, there's licorice there. Like, everything there would be delicious.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been a huge fan of gummy bears, but, like, those gummy bears on the tree, I'm like, hell yeah.
They're as big as your hand to your elbow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
They belong in my mouth.
Exactly.
But I'm afraid those gummy bears might try to touch my dingus.
I think you'll be safe, Joel.
I don't
They
know.
appear to be bound to a tree.
Yeah, but they could just fall down. You know, there's like some drop bears, like in Australia. They just fall right on you. You're dead.
I'll look up drop bears.
Oh, you don't know about the drop bear? I thought you were a cryptid master.
Listeners, I'm no cryptid master. I am just but a dabbler.
He's just an architect. He's not a cryptid master.
Just
so
an architect.
the legend of the drop bear
Casual
is,
crypto architect.
yes, there are these bear-like animals that live in the trees in Australia that will drop on unsuspecting people and kill them, you know, basically.
Scary.
How is it unheard of that bears would be in trees, though? That makes sense to me.
Like koala bears, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
I
they
just don't
but
understand.
bears don't typically drop on people from trees. They're not typically shinobi.
Well, koala bears get intoxicated from their food, the eucalyptus leaves, so
bruising
they
their stomach, right?
get drunk and then they fall out of the trees.
And then they fall on a person, eat them.
Maybe they're falling out of the
But
tree.
these drop bears are
Guys,
much
I've
larger.
Okay.
I've heard, though they're very, very cute to look at, koala bears are scary.
I mean, they got huge
heard
claws. Have you
they're-
seen those
They can
They're
things?
be.
actually really
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, I mean, they're wild animals. Just because they're
Don't run up
adorable.
and hug it is what I'm
I mean,
saying,
I think bears in general are adorable, you know. But
Mhm.
I know that they will kill me.
You've led me to believe you don't think that bears are very...
No, I just don't want them to touch my dingus. It's completely different.
Okay.
I think koala bears have unusual noses compared to other bears.
They do.
Because they're not actually bears; they're marsupials. You know, they're koalas. We call them koala bears.
Huh.
But they're not
Huh.
actually in any sort
Not
of
part
that
of the bear
family.
species.
Yeah,
why
exactly.
did we feel the need to do that?
Because it's adorable.
Is a sloth bear?
Yes, it is. It
'Cause
is now.
I love sloths.
Oh, sloth bear. It's a cute sloth bear.
They just need to have some ears on
Mm-hmm.
put on them.
So, who's your favorite kid from this movie, guys?
Veruca steals the show. Veruca Salt.
I agree with that.
That little dance number she does is pretty good.
Her song is the best song, in my opinion, in the movie. Like, even with the amazing Gene Wilder's, you know, pure imagination, I think that, you know, I Want the Whole World is just, yeah, I don't know, it's so entertaining.
Yeah. That's real good.
I think in that scene, Gene Wilder, like, almost gives her a nod, like, yeah, go for it. Like, because he's facing off with her, kind of,
Yeah.
in it, and she's like, I want everything, and he's like, well, I told you to be good, or whatever, and, like,
just washes his hands of it.
but, like, you could totally see Gene Wilder being that character in a different circumstance, in a different movie, like, I think he probably had, I don't know what their dynamic was like, but it seemed almost like there was a little, like, mutual respect there, that she was bringing it more than the other kids were, kind of. I don't know. I think they all did an alright job. I think it's hard to be a kid actor, because from what I've seen of acting for kids, it's... all actors have to kind of guess sometimes. They're kind of doing something that they're trying. They're trying something, and they're hoping it will come through, but I think that's more complicated for kids, because they haven't experienced as much, and I think sometimes it's like a demanding parent or whatever, too, but, I don't know. I think it's funny. Charlie Bucket never really bothered me that much. I did think he made a lot of faces when I was a kid. And I remembered thinking, like, oh, it's kind of like a mopey. Even when he gets happier, like, it seems like he's still kind of a mopey character, but he does look like he's having fun during the golden ticket dance routine with the grandpa.
He looks like he's having fun. I take back what I said. I don't think that he's a terrible actor or anything like that. I was just poking fun because his character is the poor kid who deserves better, I guess, because his grandfather told him he did.
I saw so many parallels this time between him and Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Just a lot of sullen stares, a lot of that deep responsibility of being the kid who has to throw the papers in order to get the money to feed the all four of his grandparents. All in bed.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah. Hey, Aunt May, don't worry about that stack of bills.
Don't worry, I'm gonna fix it.
I did really dig his style, though, of clothing. I like this little hobo style.
Yeah.
The Converse, the pants.
Yeah.
The coat. The button-up shirt.
I've never noticed that
turtlenecks.
that shack that they live in, the hobo shack, that looks like a barn from the outside.
Well, it was a very quick flash.
Yeah. Was that put in later? Like, I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, like...
Hey, everybody, we gotta find, like, the saddest looking place.
I probably...
In Germany.
Where's the saddest looking place? Quick, grab a photo.
Oh, no one goes to that one anymore. That's where many people died. All right, that's your home, Charlie.
Oh, wow, it looks like the mountain fell on it. All right, here we go.
It's dilapidated. That's where a bunch of people were shot.
Used to be opium den.
Oh, yeah. Used to be. It depends on the day you go in.
We were trying to figure out where it was filmed, and we looked it up, and it was filmed in Germany, which I guess makes sense because they play on kind of this fairy tale thing and have different, like, architecture and cobblestone roads and stuff.
Lots of cobblestone roads, yeah.
I mean, Wonka's factory isn't really like a castle, but it looks like kind of a magical, like, fairy tale place.
The huge gate.
Yeah.
You'd see off in the distance the smokestacks.
I mean, speaking of architecture there, Aaron, like, it looks like now that you said, when Sarah pointed out, I couldn't help but see how many things look like German architecture and, like, just the roofs and stuff. Especially that scene at the end when they're flying over. It's like, these are just German towns.
What about that? What about that candy shop, guys?
No, that's the exception. Because, they don't sell candy in Germany.
The little shops
That's a lie.
and, like, the little streets that he's walking down.
After all, Homer, I come from the land of chocolates. Okay, sorry.
I don't get the reference.
Oh, it's
I'll take your.
Mr. Burns is going to sell the plant to some German investors, and Homer's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking about chocolates." And he's like, "Oh, that's okay, Homer. I come from the land of chocolates." And then Homer has like a 30-second fantasy of running through a land of chocolates. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you were saying something about chocolates? I was 5 minutes ago.
I just realized that whole thing with, like, the Oompa Loompas and the Vernicious Knids and stuff totally reminds me of Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
And kind of the wacky, colorful stuff and wacky shapes.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's kind of... I mean... The story The Sneetches
yes,
has the Sylvester McMonkey McBean, who's like the salesperson. I don't think that Willy Wonka is like a con man, like that character is in The Sneetches, but I think that he is kind of a
opportunistic.
I think that there's more going on. I mean, it does seem a little bit like he's misled them a couple of times.
Ooh, yeah, well, I mean, hey guys, I see that you live in a land where you're getting eaten all the time. How about you come work for me?
They were just so grateful that he couldn't stop them.
They're just like, the least we can do for you is work in your factory for the rest of our lives.
He couldn't stop the 6 Oompa Loompas that we see.
He just has that huge smile on his face. The free labor. You can sing whatever songs you want. I don't care.
Don't need any labor laws here. These aren't technically people. The Oompa
Work
Loompas
all
are
day, all night.
pretty great in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these
Yeah.
actors,
Yeah.
like, they're giving it their all, swinging around, dancing, and
I'm into it.
the expressions on their faces. Like, they're doing some great miming, you know, acting off of him when he's, oh, you're not personally responsible. No.
He's like, yeah. He's like, their movements are like punctuated in a way that's like giving off a strong like image. And also like their faces. I feel like I know their faces because of this movie. It focuses on them. Even though like I've watched other movies and I've been like, is that one of the guys from the Oompa Loompas? And like, I don't know if I've ever seen them in other movies before, but I definitely have like the image of their faces in my mind.
Totally.
Iconic.
And like, there's one specifically that almost seems like the head Oompa Loompa, because I think he gets the most like
Screen time,
maybe. But it's funny how orange paint on your face can make you look completely different from how you normally look.
I'm gonna say I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
I want to try it now.
I think that for Halloween we should all orange paint it up with like green in our like beards or faces or whatever.
Well, if we put green in our hair, does it mean we're gonna be the Joker?
I mean, no, because we're also gonna be dancing around. Wait, the Joker dances too. Oh my God, there's no winning.
Put some Prince music on.
I see. Two Oompa Loompas reproduced. They gave birth to the Joker, and his revenge. Like my parents always told me about how terrible it was. Wait, the Joker doesn't have an orange face.
How do you know, Joel?
He puts on makeup.
I've read a comic book before. Read a damn comic book.
You just be an abnormal Oompa Loompa.
I've got your abnormal Oompa Loompa right here, buddy.
Oh. Where are you pointing at, Joel?
Wherever the bear touches, that's where it is. So,
wow.
I can't help but jump into the comparison with the Tim Burton movie, which is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I actually like that movie just fine. Like, I don't like it as much as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but like the vitriol hatred, I get it. Like, yeah, people are like, oh no, like you can't remake a movie. Well, it's not. It's just an adaptation of the same material.
There were things I liked. There were things I didn't like.
The one thing I think is a huge flaw with it is having Deep Roy be all the Oompa Loompas. I like Deep Roy just fine.
I do too. I don't think he needed to be every single Oompa Loompa though.
Just think of all the jobs they could have hired for other little people.
Yeah,
that would have been.
Right.
It's not. Yeah,
could have had Willow.
Yeah,
could have had.
There are other people too. I don't know their names. It's more than two little people, Aaron.
Warwick Davis.
Mm-hmm. Good Migosh and Bartlecut and I don't know who else.
Just name characters from that movie.
What was the name of the?
You're killing me right now. You're killing me right now.
What was the name of the night?
Warwick Davis. They could have just done that. I mean, look. They could have just done that to Deep Roy and Warwick Davis, just like made multiple copies of each of them.
They could have
been pretty happy.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen that one.
Could have had Little Wolverine. What's that guy's name?
Little Wolverine?
Yeah.
Who's Little Wolverine, Joel?
It's
who's this guy? I don't know if I've seen Little Wolverine movie.
I mean,
what's that?
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
No, I want to know. Oh no, I won't put you on the spot.
Sarah, you haven't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You're making my face hurt. Stop it.
I'm sorry.
Kevin Pollak.
Oh.
That's who I call Little Wolverine because Aaron, back when you worked at Ralph's, you guys had action figures, there for sale. One of the action figures of Wolverine looked exactly like Kevin Pollak.
Oh.
And I was like, what is this picture? What is this Kevin Pollak action figure you guys have here? Like, so now Sarah and I call him Little Wolverine.
Okay. Thank you for letting me and the rest of the world in on that. That's pretty exciting.
You can find. I'm going to find it online too.
I'm happy right now. It's real good, Joel.
We were saying that the person who made the face didn't actually see a picture of Hugh Jackman. He just got a description over the phone of what he looks like.
Yep, exactly.
And he tried to make it based on the description.
That's just too good. I'm crying over here.
Which is all good. I really like Kevin Pollak when
Yeah,
I see him and stuff.
Kevin
so.
Pollak's cool.
Yeah.
Little Wolverine. That's what I'm going to call him from now on.
So, you haven't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, did you specifically avoid it, or was it just...
I didn't have any interest. I think I didn't see Alice in Wonderland and the other one either, and I feel like maybe I should have, because I was interested in that, but...
You didn't miss anything.
Okay.
I mean, I know what I just said earlier. This contradicts what I said earlier, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I try to go into things with an open mind.
Right.
But this movie is classic. Like,
yeah.
it would be like if someone was like 2001 Space Odyssey. I bet we could do better.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and I really do like Tim Burton a lot, but there were a couple scenes I really liked from that movie. I won't spoil them for you because if you ever do want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But my overall experience was this: you can't beat this movie.
Right.
There's no contest at all.
The other day, I was talking to my sister, and she heard they were remaking Labyrinth, and I was like, why?
Huh. What?
Like, David Bowie, R.I.P., has passed away. I love David Bowie. But I was like, why even do it? Why even do it when there's no David Bowie, no chance of David Bowie?
I mean, they've been saying they were going to remake that for a while.
I know.
And it's probably not
I
going to
always thought there was going to be a sequel.
I don't know.
But still,
yeah.
without David Bowie,
I kind of was just like, yeah, but that's how I feel about this. It's like,
would you get like
No
Tilda Swinton to play the Goblin King?
okay,
That's a really good
you might
idea.
have me there. You might
Yeah,
have
I think
me.
you've
That
figured it
I
out.
may
here.
actually watch that movie if Tilda
Babe of
Swinton
Power.
were in it.
I'm just saying, I think she could pull off a pretty convincing
She'd be
David
awesome.
Bowie.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not saying it'd be the same.
Joel's revealed a photo of little Wolverine. The
Tell-
action figure.
Tell me that looks anything like Hugh Jackman.
I don't see it, Joel.
I think it's more from the side too. I don't remember the action figure, but like, yeah,
I mean,
I think that might have been the one.
It is.
it's looking a little bit more like Aquaman to me right now.
Look at that face.
It looks
Yeah.
kind of looks like Liev Schreiber to me, that was Sabretooth.
That was before that
Yeah.
movie came out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of looking a little more like Aquaman.
I think you're just fantasizing out loud about.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But anyway, when they were making
shaved
that
your beard off
movie,
recently.
I was just like, why? There's no Gene Wilder. Like, Gene Wilder is what I love most about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, not to be...
I tried really hard to go in with an open mind, but
Yeah.
I mean,
disappointment.
I wouldn't do it because I'm a Tim Burton head, Like,
Love Tim Burton.
sign up for whatever. Like, I was the idiot who thought that the Planet of the Apes movie was good, so, I'm sure if I watch it
You
now,
and me
I'd
both,
probably
buddy.
cry.
You and me both.
Yeah, here we go. Power. Yep, boom.
No, I was all about it.
All right. Mark Wahlberg, we gotta get these apes. gotta get all these apes off my planet. Okay, so we're gonna play a game here. We're gonna cast a remake of this.
Okay.
Who do you put in the Willy Wonka role?
Okay. If
No.
anyone could replace the amazing actor that is Gene Wilder,
Yes. Is it Lin-Manuel Miranda? I honestly haven't seen him in.
it should be somebody. It should be somebody you wouldn't expect.
Hmm.
I'm thinking like Edward James Olmos or
James, almost.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that coming.
I would be so happy, but it would probably not be good.
What am I going to do with all these kids?
Kids. I told you not to touch that, you little piece of...
Not going to live forever.
Yep.
Selena. I never got to have my dreams, and you're gonna have a band.
Mija, I told you not to eat that bubble gum. Let's see. I mean, like, I was thinking...
I'm sorry, that was just my first... unusual actor playing Willy Wonka.
Like somebody who sings and dances.
You don't know what Gene Wilder's capable of when you first see him in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, going back to the movie, he's walking up all quiet and stoic, and then he does a front flip right in front of you. Like, you're like, oh, okay, I mean, I'm entrusting my children to this man.
Right, but people...
what are we doing?
People who had seen him before would know that he was like a physical comedian and stuff like that.
Well,
sure, the kids are not in on it, but the adults are on it.
Okay.
So who do we know that's like that?
All right.
Because I was thinking, like, we were talking about Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is funny. He's a song and dance man, but I don't feel like he's the right fit for this because he's not odd. Although he was pretty odd and Chappie. That was great.
Yeah.
With the mullet and...
Hell yeah.
And the fanny pack.
I gotta rewatch that movie. I remember going away a little disappointed.
I like that movie. And I
gotta watch it again.
Tie back to the Sneetches.
Okay.
Sylvester McMonkey McBean was the fix-it-up Chappie.
Oh. He had the PS4s.
I'm trying to think of who would be like a little bit unexpected.
Yeah.
For kids.
I feel like there's like somebody who is like an SNL alum or something like that. Oh, geez, I just thought Adam Sandler, and then my brain was like, that's not that bad an idea. Like, as much as I dislike Adam movies currently.
What have you just done, Joel?
I think I might enjoy him.
Holy...
What?
That would be interesting.
No, but I'm just seeing, because, like, I think he does sing a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he has albums.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's got music.
He can sing, he can dance, he can wear purple pants.
I think you just brought back his career, man.
Oh, yeah.
If they listen in, you brought back...
Somebody drop a little bird to...
yeah.
He does have to have a large curly mustache, though. It's in the contract. I know Gene Wilder doesn't have one. I'm just saying,
over here, wow, Joel. That was good casting.
Thank you.
Like, I'm picturing it in my head right now.
Yeah.
And you could just get all the goofballs that he's been making movies with for years as, like, cast members, too.
I feel like I want Will Smith also, too. Like, that was just another person who popped in mind, because he can sing, he can dance, and he's funny. Or at least he used to be funny. Now he's mostly done serious stuff. But
I think he's just trying to...
I'm going to say Adam Sandler over Will Smith myself, but...
Yeah.
He's got to go make some more science fiction movies with his son or whatever.
Or how about a lady?
Yeah. I'm down for that, too.
Tilda Swinton.
Yes. Holy crap. Tilda Swinton and everything. Forget it.
Cast her.
We're done.
No, I really do think she'd make a pretty awesome David Bowie, though.
Yeah.
Who was the lady in the Ghostbusters movie? The one that would play the Egon?
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon might make it pretty cool.
I don't know if she could sing, but she is really good.
I'm just saying, I'd be a little concerned about having my children hang out around her. Or maybe.
Just in general?
No,
like
I'm
right
just
now?
saying as Willy Wonka.
Like, hey, Kate McKinnon, stay away from my kids.
Well, I wasn't saying that.
No, you like, she could play like
you need that
intense Willy Wonka character.
You need that kind of uncertain element to your Willy Wonka. Like, even Gene Wilder kind of had a little bit of I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If I want
but he's also incredibly charming type thing,
but
right?
It balances out.
Once you're locked into his castle.
Yeah.
That's when the crazy comes out.
That's when the hits the fan, yeah, it's true.
I feel like Tim Robbins can be funny sometimes. Not that I think he would be a good choice for it necessarily, but
I don't think that's a bad choice.
I think he can be a little bit kooky, but I think he can also be a little bit funny or serious.
He's a little goofy. You know, he's a lanky guy, and he's like we've seen him do physical acting and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Once again, the singing thing comes in, but that didn't stop Johnny Depp from doing whatever the hell he did.
Gary Oldman.
Wait, Johnny Depp can sing.
Gary Oldman would make a rad Willy Wonka.
Gary Oldman can do anything.
Yeah.
I love Gary Oldman. I just don't like Gary Oldman.
And Sam...
Really?
Rockwell.
He's
Sam Rockwell! You rock my world right now, Sarah. I love him.
Gary Oldman has a bunch of politics that I don't agree with. He's an amazing actor.
Can you see past those politics, though? To his
yes,
skills?
I can. I can. I hesitate to cast him in anything.
Okay.
That's all. Okay. I'll go see him in a movie. It's not going to stop me.
All right. Yeah, I think that guy, he is like a chameleon.
Yeah.
He changes right before my eyes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bale? Did you see Newsies?
Christian Bale would be a funny choice.
Yeah.
Santa Fe. I think this is the second time I've done this on the podcast. I'm going to stop.
I don't want you to stop.
Oh, yeah.
People really like you when you sing on our podcast, Joel.
Who are people? Your mom?
Other podcast people.
Oh, that's nice of them to say that.
But
who are you talking to?
You told me that they told you.
No one's ever told me anything in my life. Anyway.
I'm looking at Sarah for some backup, but...
No, Sarah's shaking her head. She's mad.
I'm not mad.
She's not mad.
She's really mad, guys.
I like this casting, though.
Yeah.
This is pretty rad.
Peter Falk at R.I.P. again.
Oh, he'd be Grandpa Joe. I never drank.
Grandpa and Princess Bride.
Yeah. As you wish.
Somebody from Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Oh, Mandy Patinkin.
There certainly was a time. I don't know.
Yeah, not now.
He doesn't want to do much moving around anymore. Sal? Whatever. So, what about you? Do you guys have a favorite song? What is your favorite song in the movie?
There's only so many songs. I feel like,
most of the Oompa Loompa moralistic value songs.
Those are good because they teach you lessons.
Yeah, they crack me the hell up as well. Just the idea of when you see some go down, and in the back of the head you got those Oompa Loompas going off, and you're just like, that's why you should have listened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Texting while driving is really stupid.
Yeah.
All these things.
Yeah.
I think I'm torn between World of Pure Imagination and the Golden Ticket song. The Golden Ticket song might be my favorite, even though my favorite scene is definitely the World of Pure Imagination.
I think I gotta go with the crazy psychedelic slam poetry.
There's no earthly way
There's
of
nothing.
knowing.
There's nothing. Even from childhood on, every time I see that scene, it's mystifying.
I knew we were in for it this time when we were watching it, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about the fact that he puts all the kids on this boat right now.
Yeah, it's so...
And then I started to wonder if it was a security measure to get to the invention room. If you have to go through that in order to be able to get to the room.
You go insane, you can't get to the invention room, that's probably the cheapest set on the invention room, which is like somebody's garage with a bunch of things that make smoke and everything. Plenty of pun opportunities. But.
There was that one point when Mike TV vaped a little bit.
Oh yeah, that was. I wondered if they because I don't think he had, because he let smoke out twice. Yeah. But I think he might have been positioned in a way that something next to him
shoot out of the
maybe.
side.
Yeah, because he was in profile.
Yeah,
when he was doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
No, it's a cool fact.
And this can go on the
Exploding
list of
gum.
movies. Yes, for your enemies.
Give it to your enemies.
Mm-hmm. This can go on the list of movies where you actually get to see animal mutilation on screen, which is not good. I have a list of that.
Did that happen during the little dream sequence there in the boat?
It cut off a chicken's head.
Oh, jeez.
Never
Yeah.
That was probably the one reason I didn't like this movie as a kid.
Oh.
Was because of that part.
Yeah.
Specifically. And I mean, the actors in the movie don't have any control over that. Like, probably it was
post credit or post
choice.
post production.
I don't know.
I think they were picking things that they felt were disturbing, but not like abnormal enough. I don't know in 71 if that wasn't that big of a deal. Seeing a chicken, it's not like you've seen blood squirt out or anything like that. It's probably a chicken that's. I mean, it could have been a fake chicken for all I know, but it looks like a real chicken, and, it could have been dead for all I know, and they cut off its head. It's not like it's moving. It's, just a momentary chicken head, boom, cleaver come down. And then, like, the bugs crawling on people, or, like the lizard eating the bug kind of thing. Just a little spooky. Except for Slugworth. He's scary, but for reasons why, because he's sneaking up on children and whispering in their ears.
Whispering into their ears!
That's one thing I didn't think about until this viewing of it, is like, why was he always there?
Yeah.
And it almost seems like he was the one putting the candy bar with the golden ticket in its place, so that he could see who got it and be right there to talk to them afterwards. I think he had the bars.
He's like that cop that worked for McDonald's that was in charge of the Monopoly tickets. And HBO is going to be doing like a series on that guy, a mini-series, I think. Because he gave away hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And that's Slugworth. He had the power.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it kind of makes you wonder, if he had control over who they were selecting in the first place, why didn't he choose nicer kids?
Yeah. Yeah, if he had control over the selection process, did he want to teach those kids some type of lesson?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Maybe it was all a lesson for Charlie.
Well, at the end of the book, when certain events go down, there's like a moment where they can see the kids leaving the factory, and they kind of relate the fact that they make it out okay in the end.
Yeah.
They show that in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They're a little weird looking, but they're alive. Yeah. And which is very James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
It's a very James and the Giant Peach moment.
And Gene Wilder says Charlie asks him if they're going to be okay. He says that they are.
Yeah.
You believe him, even though he's been lying through his teeth this entire time.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like, oh, okay, I believe this man.
He acts so scary in a couple of parts that, I wouldn't have trusted him anymore. Even if I had liked him as a kid, I probably wouldn't have wanted to put up with him. You know what I thought this time, though, when they get into the elevator at the end? It reminded me of in the beginning when they go into that doorway and then they end up going out a different way. It made me think that they could have been in a turning room or in an elevator or something like that made the door open a different way. Yeah.
Nobody felt the hallway change, but yeah, I think that's what it was supposed to be like.
And that's a real, for me, callback to, Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland at the bottom of trying to get into the door.
Yeah. Because then he gets into the smaller hallway and then opens up the world into his fantasy land.
Yeah.
Which is full of little orange people.
They're his friends, Joel.
I don't have any little orange people in my fantasy land. I'm sorry. And that's my loss.
You might need to work on that.
Yeah.
Fantasies become realities, and your realities become fantasy.
You guys want to know my secret fantasy?
Yeah. It's the reason why I have a podcast, Joel.
It's to roll around in a bunch of candy and not be sticky.
Huh.
That's not really my secret fantasy.
One of my photography teachers used to say, do you want to know my secret fantasy all the time? And then say something totally normal. Totally normal. I wish I had a boat. And he wouldn't even be funny about it. He
just
really
deadpan?
meant it.
Just deadpan?
Yeah. He was a totally deadpan person all the time. But now, every once in a while, I'll be like, do you want to know my secret
I
fantasy?
don't know my secret fantasy.
Yeah, one time he told him, you want to know my secret
shoes.
fantasy? I want all the female students to stick their feet in my mouth. What?
No.
Oh, that didn't happen? Oh, I'm sorry. Aaron, you want to know my...
He delivered, like, bad news and good news the exact same level.
Wow.
Like, yeah, he
I'm
told
mad.
me, he was telling us about, because I've had more than one photography teacher tell me, like, oh, we encourage trespassing because you can get really interesting shots if you're, like, just doing urban exploration. Alright, this is kind of a tangent, but,
It's all good.
anyway, yeah, he delivered the news that some of his former students had been killed by a train when they went on the tracks to take a picture in the same level as, like, you want to know my secret fantasy, I want a boat, like, the same thing.
You want to know my secret fantasy? Not getting my students killed.
Man, that's rough.
To anybody out there who might know this guy, he was an awesome person, an awesome teacher. Wish you no disrespect, but yeah, I kind of was like, in real life, people are dead, and yeah, the answer was yeah.
I don't think that actually happened with the students getting killed because he wouldn't have a job. It would get back that they were doing like an assignment and that he had encouraged it and previously been
I
encouraged.
thought she just said that it was post, like, they were no longer a student when
Former
student when it occurred.
Right, they were former because they were dead.
Oh, I thought they were formers and they graduated and went out. Were taking urban exploration.
No, they got hit by a train.
after they graduated.
No, they're former because they can't be in the class anymore.
I don't
Because
even
they're dead.
remember. I probably shouldn't go into this any further in case anybody.
Anyways,
knows.
Willy Wonka is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
I mean, there's only one factory that has a waterfall that churns chocolate. That's Willy Wonka's.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Nike factory, which was weird.
Oh well, I mean that's what makes the best shoes is the waterfall.
Delicious shoe waterfall.
I always thought that the chocolate river didn't really look like chocolate.
Oh no!
And I was always like trying to imagine what it would taste like, and
It was
I
always very
remember
questionable to me too.
somebody told me like, oh, it'd be like drinking hot chocolate or something, and I'm like, that's not the same way a candy bar tastes.
No.
But like, I looked it up, and it was just like brown dyed water,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and like I think it must have. I think they tried to put cocoa in it and it didn't work or something. And
Cocoa?
Well, what I'm gonna say is they did have a kid drinking from it, so I'd hope it was.
hope it wasn't too gross.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get up.
Tasted like a dirty little German boy. That's what it tasted like.
Okay. It depends. Like, would he, after many takes of him falling in, he tasted himself in the water?
I don't even know. That kid was still eating chocolate as he was stuck in that tube. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I mean, there's so much to talk about this movie. I feel like we went in some pretty crazy tangents, but they're not bad.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of things we didn't talk about, TV rooms and fizzy lifting drinks.
I like the all white room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
That's
me
like
too.
the semiconductor like outfit or whatever. It's like a very clean.
A static-free clean
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I like is I want a chocolate bar as big as they had to do for the TV thing. Like, don't shrink that chocolate bar. Give me the freaking...
Hand it over to Joel.
I kept thinking they were gonna say like it made it more potent or something, like that they took the chocolate of this much and made it into like this little amount,
Nice.
and that made it like super concentrated or
It's like,
something.
kind of tastes like Augustus. This weird.
The spinning blades are scary.
Yes.
That's another scary moment.
Yeah, I mean, they're like screaming for their life. Like,
I always thought during that scene, right, I was just like, why didn't he have like a little grate over it or like a little
punishment. The man is fixated on punishment.
Also, on this viewing, I thought it was funny that their scariest moment at the factory is them floating up into the air, but also the best moment at the end when they fly up into the air in the elevator is like the worst and the best possible thing that could happen, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right, they almost die there.
They probably almost die at the end, too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts is when they're on the vehicle thing that's like shooting foam at them. And this is the first time I noticed that Grandpa is just absent once that foam starts. But like the actor was just like, "You're not spraying me down with this crap." Because like Charlie gets one good like huge amount on him, and Gene Wilder keeps getting some, and he's playing along. But mostly it's Mike TV and his mom who are just over and over. Like I feel so bad for her. She's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
They wanted that reaction, though, man.
Yeah, she does great. Like Mike TV's mom is probably my favorite adult.
She does real good. Oh my gosh, react most of the time.
I think that Augustus's mom is the funniest.
Yeah, she's good.
We don't get much of her though. That's the problem. Augustus, sweetheart, save some room for later.
There's something about the Veruca's father as well that always cracks me up a little bit. Just like this, like, get what you want.
Like he's under her command, like just like afraid of her.
Yep.
Like, don't worry, I will get you one. Like it's just yeah.
Yeah, and him and Gene Wilder had so many like little opposites to each other. Like there's a whole like comedy thing between just those two guys.
Oh yeah, totally.
I feel like his name was one of the few names I recognized in the credits, and I can't remember what else I've seen him in. I feel like it was something in the yeah, probably. Jeez, everybody's.
I can't think of anybody else.
Roy Kinnear played Mr. Salt. I think I just remembered what I know him from. Yep, Quincy's Quest.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Roy Kinnear he played Top in Quincy's Quest. And it's one of the few names I was like, oh, this guy was in Charlie's Chocolate Factory. Or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because who else? Tommy Steele, that's it.
Joel, that's like your favorite movie.
I mean, it certainly was one that I tried to champion, but nobody would get on that train with me, unfortunately. You just go to YouTube, you type in Quincy's Quest, and boom, you're right there, guys. Watch it. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun Christmas movie. And then you never have to watch it again. As Aaron and Sarah probably hope they never will.
You know, I might be able to watch it again at this point.
Yeah, good. I got
Enough
the DVD
time
right over
has
there.
Passed that I
Do you
think
really
I'm
have it?
okay.
Yep.
You're so awesome, Joel.
Yeah. I had to send away special for that one. I haven't even seen if it works.
It's for the shelf.
Exactly.
I understand.
Just ready to go.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm really glad I got to see this movie again. It's been a minute since I've seen Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching it with me. I'd seen it in the background of this local candy shop a couple of times when I'd gone in, and I was like, I actually want to watch the whole movie again. I don't want to just, like, see it in the background.
I think it is pretty perfect for a background movie, though, because most people are familiar with it, and it's just, like, colorful going on, songs and stuff like that. It'd be like something you'd play at a party or something. By the way, how old is the minimum age limit for letting people watch this? Because honestly, I don't think, like, even with the slightly spooky scenes, I can't imagine a kid being, like I wouldn't show it to a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, or whatever, because I'm not even sure.
6 and up, I'd say.
So yeah, I feel like that's
6.
Like 4 or 5.
I think maybe 10.
10.
Yeah.
So Dolan is not going to see this until the year 2025 or whatever.
I think it might have given me bad dreams at his age, and he has bad dreams already.
Mm. But he's watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That movie's scarier than this. It's got the Prowler.
The Prowler?
It's scary. It's scarier.
The Kingpin's huge.
Oh, yeah. I saw a guy that looked like that.
Nice.
No, it was weird. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, kids, lock up your kids till they're 10. They're not
Lock up your kids. Come on,
Can't be watching no Willy Wonka.
That's probably not a reality. I mean, in reality, I'd probably show it to my nephew, but I would leave out a scene or two.
I mean, when I was 10, I was in the 5th grade, so I feel like I was old when I was younger.
What I'm saying is, I think he could watch it now without a couple scary parts in it.
Okay. All the parts with Grandpa Joe, just cut it out. Anyways,
You're
I'm gonna...
You're gonna be bedridden pretty soon, Joel.
That's... you wanna know what my secret fantasy is?
Oh, no!
Lying in a bed for 20 years.
Oh, no!
Having somebody change my bed fan and
No, Joel.
buy my tobacco for me.
I'll go work the paper out for you.
Yeah, it
then.
turned out that they were, like, mentally ill, and that's why they couldn't get out of bed. Like,
Oh.
if the floor wasn't so cold.
This was the time when there were, like, 4 invalids per family.
Oh, that's 20 years, so it's 71. He's been in the bed since 51. Maybe he had just a real bad experience, like after the war. PTSD, never really recovered. Anyway.
He was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah, I
as
don't.
well. I think so.
I've never seen that movie, so.
Yeah.
I don't. I was not aware. Does he play Chitty Chitty or Bang Bang?
No,
Neither of those?
neither.
Does he play Angela Lansbury?
No, I think he plays a grandpa in that one as well.
Is Angela Lansbury in that movie? Is Angela Lansbury in Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
I haven't seen Bedknobs nor the Broomsticks.
Oh, okay.
That's the one where witchcraft beats the Nazis.
Really?
I think that's the one.
I don't remember. I just remember a lion and
That's
a bed
cool.
and a bed that could
Yeah.
fly.
Yeah, they stopped the bombing of London. The
Wow.
witches do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna read the outro stuff. You guys think of a lesson that you learned from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the movie. How many times do you guys think you've seen it? Out of curiosity.
Numerous times. I don't have a
Numerous.
number.
You don't have a number because I think it might be like more than 25 times for me. Like,
I could tell just from how much of it you knew.
yeah, I was just on like heavy rotation growing up.
I think I maybe saw it 20 times.
Yeah,
Maybe.
might be the most I've seen any movie.
I mean, Pure Imagination's a pretty zen moment for me too, so it's probably
Yeah.
been up there as well.
I see. Sorry, I was
Are
zenning.
you
I was
zoning out?
zenning. It was zen.
Yeah, zen moment, isn't it?
Wow.
I don't know. It's just so comforting to me personally.
Mhm.
I want my own room like that.
Yeah.
Anything you want, like, yeah.
Your own
So
candy
awesome.
room.
Not necessarily candy, but just like whatever you want. Like a room that has anything you can imagine.
I see. Like a dinosaur.
Holodeck. I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah, just
Here
get the
for it.
holodeck.
That's true. You could have any room you wanted if it was a holodeck.
Yeah, you guys want to know my secret fantasy?
Oh no.
It's playing a trombone on a holodeck. So, listeners, if you you want to write in a comment or a suggestion, write
Beam
into
me up.
pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com or
Take this life anymore.
message us on Facebook, facebook.com/PDSMiOS. If you're feeling generous like our good friend Scott, you're welcome to send us a few bucks our way at coffee, ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS. And I should mention I did the bare minimum and connected the website pdsmios.com to our Podbean site. So if you go to pdsmios.com, it'll take you directly to the Podbean site with the episodes on it. Now, I'm working on a page that has a list of all the episodes that you could just search in there and then click on the thing to open up the individual episode. But more things will happen as I get my ass in gear on this particular thing. But it's a good thing. You can tell people, very easy way to get them to listen to the podcast if you're trying to convince people like I am constantly.
All the podcast gods, thank you for your for doing that.
Yep.
Crom, Zool, all the important deities.
We're not talking fictional things here. Let's see. I don't know. I can't think of any other famous fictional ones.
Oh.
Bahamut.
Oh. Okay. Isn't that like a Final Fantasy
Mephisto
summon?
Shiva. No, wait. That's. I need to watch what I'm
Poison
saying.
3.
Ifrit.
Poison 3.
Oh yeah. The chess pieces, whatever they were. And thanks to David DeRoy for our theme music, Jed Dowtry for our podcast logo, and to all the listeners out there, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you guys have a lesson that you learned from Willy Wonka? Like, we've been instilled with so many lessons on this. I feel like. But if you could key it down to something essential, what would you say you learned from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I learned that it's best in life to be a poor kid.
Yeah. Being poor and hoping for a better life always rewards you.
That's right. That was the
Because you want it more, Charlie.
Wanting something more than everybody else means that you have more of a chance of getting it.
Right, and if you don't get it, that means you didn't want it more than somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
This is like abusive father
Magical
thing.
thinking.
Manifest it, right?
Yeah.
Just manifest it.
Secret.
Probably the biggest takeaway I took as a kid was if you have a kid that's a brat, the mother and the father are to blame.
The mother and the
From the
father.
little
Mother and the father.
Oompa Loompa song about Veruca Salt.
Oompa loompa scoopity poop. Wait, that's Kanye.
Scoop at the poop.
Okay. Did you actually do a lesson, or were you just chatting? See, now I'm out of blank.
Actual lesson. How about you, Joel? You got a lesson?
Yeah, I got a lesson. I was waiting for your thing.
Oh.
But I'll give my lesson if you want.
I mean, it doesn't have to be any particular order.
Wait, what was your lesson?
Oh, I said it's good to be a poor kid.
Oh, jeez, God, see? I don't know why I didn't remember that, because I was laughing about it internally, where it counts.
Oh.
That's where I do my best laughing. Okay.
I believe you. I believe you.
My lesson is, and this is the number one thing, just like Sarah, that I learned from this movie, is that you should never chew gum, because that's a death sentence.
Man, I chew so much gum, Joel.
Aaron,
I'm a dead man.
Willy
walking.
Wonka would not want you to run his factory.
Aw.
It's like,
I went through like
this
a whole
kid's really greedy, this kid's fat and eats all the time, this kid is obnoxious and obsessed with television, never reads books. On that kid chews gum.
Yeah.
The TV thing is pretty crazy too. It's like you become stupid.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
your IQ of 3?
Yeah.
I
Hello.
believe is what the Oompa Loompas were saying,
Yeah.
from what I recall.
Yeah.
It's the same BS complaint people throw at millennial people for looking at their cell phone all the time.
It's totally some, like, baby boomer rant.
I think it gets upgraded to that in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton movie too. So
Oh.
yeah, baby boomer.
It is. It's
Yeah.
kind of a.
You're lazy
I'm-
and you have an IQ of 3. That's what. That's basically paraphrasing.
You make me
what the Oompa
sick.
Loompa said.
We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks again, Sarah.
Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys.
Bye.